So, we have MindMeister in front of us, and MindMeister is a mind mapping utility that comes in a basic version which allows you to have up to 3 mind maps, or you can go pro, which I have not because I don't need more than 3 mind maps for at least what I'm doing at this point in time. The point of mind mapping is to try to help you draw connections between or realize connections between knowledge. And I have it's for me a zeroth law, which if you know anything about like the laws of thermodynamics, etc., that a zeroth law is a law upon which all other laws must be built. And my zeroth law of learning is that you can only learn that which you can connect to something you already know. And so the process of learning is the process of making connections. And mind maps are tools that can help you do that. And my best example of how this worked for me was back when I was a graduate student, and you have to take comprehensive examinations, both oral and written. And what it is it's a final exam that lasts, mine was a day and a half, that was a final exam over everything that I was supposed to have learned as an undergraduate, which, if you're like me, I practiced educational bulimia where I gorged by cramming before exams and then purging soon thereafter. So I really didn't remember squat from my undergraduate years when I was a graduate student, and so I had to reconstruct that. And I just happened upon an idea of just writing out all of the topics in physics that I knew I had covered and then trying to make connections. And then came to find out that this is something that learning theorists highly promote, and a process of mind mapping which allows you to connect one idea to another is a really good way to get your learning turbocharged. So I started MindMeister. It says my new mind map, and if I click there I can go ahead and put stuff in that this is the central idea, and of course that says nonsense. But then I can add nodes, and I can name them whatever. And if I want a node to go off of that node, I can keep on hitting plus, and then I've got more stuff. And if I want a node off of that node, I can add more stuff. Or if I want an additional node off of this one, I can do that. Or an additional node off of this one. I'm just using the plus key, so I hope you see that this is really fairly easy to set things up. So what I did is I went back to the syllabus, and this is really for Physics 111 in terms of topics, but what you'll see if you look at all of these items that I have here, that what I did is take the physics topics, the physics skills, the skills are called competencies, the topics come from the course outline, and both of those sets of information for competencies, 5 outline topics, are on the syllabus, and so I made separate entries for each of those. I also have some additional course objectives that I put out here. And then what I ended up doing is adding 3 more that, depending on how you want to start building this, because your brain is not my brain, and so how you think about things is not the way I think about things. And so you want to organize this to fit your brain. But I have said that I think of this course in 3 major parts, that they're the physics concepts, there are the communication elements of it, And there are societal skills that I think you should have, being scientifically literate and also being a prosumer of education, being productive, engaged as a learner yourself in your education, as well as, working with your local school boards, etc., for your kids' education. So you can start organizing, and so I've got physics content here, and for Physics 111, one of the first concepts is properties of matter, and so I just kind of entered them here, and if you see, I can, if I position it properly, I can get properties of matter to go with physics content, and if I'd prefer the physics content to be over here, I can just drag it. And I know that another physics topic is linear motion, so oops, I disengaged it. And so I can keep on organizing this, and your goal in this initial activity is to get the course set up in terms of all of the things that you need to do, which are to pay attention to the competencies, the outline, and the additional course objectives. And then on a weekly basis, you will start making additional entries that you will connect between various sorts of things. And so if I came back and let's just say in linear motion that I had done something with, and I just clicked that plus sign, that I worked with the motion detector. That has to do with linear motion, but it might also have to do with some other stuff because you did this in a team, and so that maybe it's connected to work effectively in collaborative groups. So what I can do is, with this highlighted, I can make a connection between here and here. So what I said here. And so what you can start to do then is, as I move these around, you see how that connection moves, that you're going to build a mind map or a web or whatever you want to call it that ends up describing how all of this interrelates. And some students think this is, hooey BS, whatever, extra work, busy work, etc. But I'm here to tell you, if you want to really learn how to learn, using mind maps are a superior way of organizing your brain, and the beauty of them is you can organize them in a way that your brain works, because most brains don't work in a hierarchical outline kind of form where you've got Roman numeral 1 and ABC under that, and within those lowercase Roman numerals blah blah blah. That's not how most of our brains work. Our brains are organic, and mind maps allow you to be much more organic and organize your knowledge and thinking in a way that fits you best. So your task is to go ahead and to set up a mind map similar to this, but clearly not identical, and make it work for you. Enjoy.